Rock and roll in its many forms. There is no shortage of rock music in Toledo. 13's Jerry Anderson is with us to continue his reports on music in Toledo. Jerry.
Diane, from the 50s, 60s to pop rock covers to the hard edge of rock and roll, the sounds that pound are easily found in Toledo. That may not be the best news, as we've learned this week, for jazz players or country players who usually have to mix in some form of contemporary hits to keep an audience. Toledo's a rock and roll town. Many of them have lamented to me. Yeah, Toledo's rocking. Many bands are out there, but tonight we feature a Toledo-based band which has just released its second worldwide album. And as all of you Headbanger Ball fans know, their videos play on MTV. The band is Damien. The music they call classical heavy metal, power metal.
Damien is an American band with a heavily influenced European sound.
Influenced, yes, but as I joined them at their warehouse practice site, they talked about their own original sound.
Like a lot of bands will have like the same type
sound.
of every song, whereas our first album had a lot of different types of music.
Variety was very important. Not to have a sound, but to have be able to have any sound.
And being a band from Toledo has actually helped Damien perfect its sound.
I've always been here in Toledo, and the isolation in one sense has been good for us because it makes us a completely original band.
Together for some 7 years, Damien credits its success to total dedication, talent, and yes, some luck. And what do they ultimately want from all of this?
The world domination.
Yeah, there's no way.
And if they get the world, part of Toledo will be there.
When you hear Damien, you're hearing it right out of the streets of Toledo.
With us now live, Damien's Randy Wolf Michelson, and welcome aboard. Nice to have you here.
How you doing, Jerry?
Can't promise you the world, but this is, after all, first at 5. That
this
counts, doesn't it count? I think it counts. Sure, it's good to have you aboard. So here you are, a rich, famous rock star, I guess, being limoed around town and can't spend the money fast enough. Is that the way it works?
No, not quite. We're kind of caught in a situation right now where it's exactly a catch-22.
Yeah. You just released your second album within the last couple of months. I've heard it, good album. So you should be out touring in support of the album, but it's tough to get a tour at this point.
Yeah, it is for a lot of bands today. Unless you're selling like 1 million albums, it's hard to get a tour.
Sure.
So it's like, and you can't get the album sold unless you have a tour. Yeah. So it's a hard thing to do. But
what's the next break you think you need, this band needs?
Well, I think people in the industry are starting to put some minor bands that aren't multi-platinum, like Great White and Tesla was just here, and that's the type of situation that we're looking to get in, is opening for. They're like putting 3 bills on a, on a ticket.
And maybe you guys should catch on with something like that, get out on the tour in support of your album. Let's talk about this. The band is named Damien, influenced heavily by the music of Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath. You know, some folks seeing that video are going to say, well, this is some cult-oriented, Satan-worshipping, rock and roll kind of thing. And you're the lyricist of all people. You're writing this stuff. Tell us about that.
Well, that's just like a nightmare that follows, I think, Iron Maiden. Anyone that has a name that is going to connotate some power, the people are going to automatically assume the wrong thing. That's not the case. My lyrics are inspired, whether it's by horror or something dealing with love, whatever it may be. It's never satanic. It's just based on something I'm inspired by.
Okay. Randy, nice to have you with us. I appreciate your time. Want to mention, you haven't played in town for a while. Here's a chance coming up November 27th at
Roxanne's.
Roxanne's. So catch them.
Come out.
It's Damien. Be there, and you'll enjoy it. And coming up tonight, 2 very popular Toledo bands taking different paths to what they hope will ultimately be stardom as the sounds of music in Toledo continue. Diane?
Okay, Jerry, thanks. Names and faces making news this